All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Web Development 1100 online C# programming class for the spring 2024 semester, I've been doing a series of video presentations, mostly based on the PowerPoint slides for our textbook, Murox C# 8th edition. I've also been working on a payroll program, which is transitioning over to an employee program. Now I skipped chapter 13 and I'm jumping into chapter 14 on how to work with inheritance. All right, and in here we have one applied objective. Use any of the features of inheritance presented in this chapter as you develop classes for your apps. And we have 7, I think it is, knowledge objectives. Explain how inheritance is used within the .NET classes and how you can use it in your own classes. Explain why you might want to override toString equals and get hash code methods of the object class as you develop code for a new class. Describe the use of the protected and virtual access modifiers for the members of a class. Describe the use of polymorphism. Describe the use of the type class. Describe the use of explicit casting when working with objects of a base class and its derived class, and distinguish between an abstract class and a sealed class. All right. So this picture is supposed to show you how inheritance works, or at least start to. Okay. So what they're saying is, if you remember, when we've been working on our program. All right, and don't worry about these errors. I was screwing around with the last chapter and had problems. All right, but when we came in here and we had this thing from earlier, and we had public class partial FRM product main inherits from form. All right, or new product, I guess, is the one they want you to use, and that's fine. This is the one that we worked on before. This is the employee one that we did before. So let me try to see if I can find that. All right, here's the product maintenance. So if I go to new product and you look in here and you see public partial class FRM new product : form. What that means is the FRM new product class inherits from the form class. The form class is defined in system.windows.forms. So everything defined in that class is now available in this class, which is pretty much what they're saying in here. All right, I'm going to get rid of this product list thing because it's giving me errors. All right, there you go. Now my errors are gone. All right. So all the stuff that you see here that's defined in the base class is now available in the derived, or everything in the parent is available in the child. Plus we can add new stuff in here as well, and that's what they're showing you. And in fact, much, if not all, of the .NET framework is based on inheritance. You can see that basically everything here comes off of object. All right, directly or indirectly. You've got control, and coming off of control, you've got button base, group box, label, link control, text box, base, and scrollable control. And off of most of those, you've got other classes as well. Now, some of the methods of the system object class. What this means in English is you get these methods for free. In other words, they are inherited from system.object. If you create your own class, it will inherit from the form class, which will inherit from system.object. And you get all this stuff. And you can, if you want to, override or overwrite this stuff. So let's look at how we're going to change in this chapter. Okay. Previously, we had, for a product had, and that's not changing when you look at it. A product has a code, a product has a description, a product has a price. And products can be displayed either passing in a separator or not. Well, now we're going to actually have two different types of products. All right, what that means is we will have book products, and a book has a code, a description, a price, a get display text, and also an author. In addition, we will have a software product, which again will have a code, a description, a price, a get display, and a string that represents the version. All right. So as it says, this is the code for the product base class. All right. Now you should be able to, hopefully by now, look at this and decipher or figure out public class product. So right here, public product, this right here is the constructor. So you're passing in a string for the code. You're passing in a string for the description. You're passing in a decimal for the price. Okay? And you are basically setting everything equal. They're using the initializer way of doing it compared to the way we've been doing it. All right? Then you'll notice code, description, and price. It all looks really trimmed down from what you saw before. When you set up fields like code, description, and price, like we're doing here, and you have just get and set, that will default. So for the get, it'll just get the code or the description or the price. And for set, it'll deal with the value you pass in, and it'll set the value of the code or the value of the description or the value of the price to whatever you passed in. Now they have some keywords here, and some of these we've looked at before. Some of them we have not. All right. Public means that basically if you declare something public, it's available to everything or just about everything. All right. One of the reasons that different objects of different types can, if necessary, communicate with one another is through public methods. Now, protected is more along the lines of inheritance that we're looking at. So if I define something in a parent and I pass it down to the child, all right, the child can use it, but the child can't change typically the method that's being passed into them. But that is if it is private. But if it's protected, that means that it can be changed by either the parent or any of the children as you go down the way. Then you've got a couple of internals. And internals work with, basically, to my knowledge, because I haven't done too much work with them, but internals work with basically your project itself. All right. And private, we've already talked about. So as you can see in here, we've got a book class, and the book class inherits from product. This colon in this case means inherits. Book is a child of product. All right? Now, what we should be able to do is grab every bit of this in here, copy this to the clipboard, go to our program that we've been working with, this product maintenance thing, right mouse click on here, choose add and choose class and put in here book.cs. I'm going to make this public and paste all that in. Now I'm getting errors, and it's all in this thing that's right here. We got that before. And I'm going to see if I can fix some of these. They might still be errors when I get done. So if they are, don't let it worry you, please. Okay, so I've got all sorts of stuff in here. This says unterminated string literal, which I don't understand because code description, price dot to string, and author. It's saying that this get display doesn't have anything for 4 different parameters, and that's true. Okay. Now here, notice what we have. Book, public string author. So this is, as it says, it's a new property, author with a get and a set. It's defaulting to nothing, but you can get it, you can set it. Here is the constructor. So book is expecting 4 different things: a code, a description, a price, and an author. This means that of those 4 things that it is expecting, the code, the description, and the price will be handled by the parent. All right, I want to say that again. The code, the code, the description, and the price are going to be handled, by the parent. Only the author is going to be handled in here. The rest of it will be handled by the parent. And this is the way a lot of object-oriented code works. Now, when I look in here, we've got public class book :product. And we didn't get that thing to come over. It looks like public class book :product. So this means book inherits from product. Product is the parent class. Book is the child class. All right. We've cut down some of our errors, but not all of them. Another way to override a method. Okay. So 3 versions of the get display text method. All right. What they're showing you in here is, here we're saying public virtual string get display text. Here we're saying public override string get display text. And here we're saying it again. All right. So what's the difference in here? All right. First of all, let's look at this one. All right. It says virtual. What that means is inside a product, we will add this code. I want to say that again. Inside a product, we will add this code. So let me copy this. And let's go back. All right. And inside a product, we currently have this, which is our get display text. All right, but we want to modify it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of it and comment it out for now and replace it with this new stuff right there. All right. Now it looks to me like it's the same, except it has the word virtual here. And what the word virtual there, for lack of better words, what it means is that anything that uses this, all right, so any class that's going to inherit from product is going to have to write their own get display text. So it says, here is the one in the book class. So I'm going to go to the book class. And we've got this. I'm not going to use this anymore. It may or may not have changed. But I'm going to put that right there, which means I've overridden it from where it was before. Now, the other thing they say is we want to do the same thing in the software class, but I don't think we've been given the code yet for the software class. All right. So they're showing here how you can create new books, etc. All right, so there's our product maintenance form, and we're able to add a new product. Okay, but all the products that are in there right now are books. What's going to change is if we add a new book, it'll look like this. But if we add new software, it's going to end up looking, oh, I thought they showed it, but maybe they don't. It's going to end up looking like this, except for instead of author, it's going to have version there. Okay. So this is the code they're saying for the product class. So let's grab every bit of this. Copy it to the clipboard. Let's go back to here. Let's go back to our product class, not book. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's come back to the product class, which is right here. All right, I'm going to comment every bit of it out. All right, and I am going to add here the updated version that they just showed us right there. All right, now I'm wondering if I missed a semicolon here. Okay, it looks like I did. Now we're going to make another one here, another class here that is going to be called software. All right, there it is. I'm going to again make this public. All right, and going back into here, there will be, this is the book class, and I think that's exactly what we have, but I'm not sure, and there's the software. Let's grab the software first, because I have that up already. And it says that software is going to inherit from product. So we're going to put that right here. Okay, it looks good so far. Let's go to our book class. And this is what we just put in, and I believe that it's correct. Let's double check. All right, public class book product, public. It does look like it's different. Okay. So I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard, and I'm going to replace what is in here with that. So we now have a book class. All right. This is wrong. Let me look again. Yeah, this is our main. All right. So that's our product list. This is our book class here. So let me grab this. Paste that in. Okay, now we've got a clean book class. File, save all. We have a clean book class and we have a clean software class. They're both errorless. All right. So next, we want to go and we want to add this product list class. All right. And we had this before, earlier. Was that in here? Product list? Otherwise, it was in the last chapter. All right, it was in the last chapter, I believe. Okay, so it says modify the behavior of the add method. All right, I'm just going to grab every bit of this. This may not be complete. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a new class called product list. Again, I'll make this public. Paste that in. Now, as of now, yeah, it is. It's giving me, you can see this, add, etc. So it doesn't like, what I have in here is incomplete. All right, so I'll have to go back to the previous chapter. Let's do that. Didn't want to do this, but I am going to anyway. All right. And this was the product, the code for the product maintenance form. The code for the product list class. Okay. So let's start with this. This is the code for the product list class. So I'm just going to grab every bit of it, copy that to the clipboard. All right, this is product list, so I'm going to get rid of what was in here, replace it with that. We may get errors, and if we do, we do. All right. All right, so this is what we have up to here. All right, let's keep going. This is the problem that you run into, or that I run into, as I'm coming in here and trying to add some code and leave out some other stuff. All right. All right, then the last one is here. All right, now we've got errors here. Looks like about a half dozen or so. All right, here's the first one. Telling me that it expected, so it looks like I'm missing a curly brace, which looks like it would go right here. There's that one. So that one should be gone in a minute there. Now the rest of this is all stuff that is not available here. So I have to remove the null. That should get rid of that error. Oops. There. That should get rid of that error. And it did. All right. Now it doesn't like that we're doing this. I'm going to see if I can change this to make it work. All right. And I don't know if what I'm about to do will work or not. But I'm going to come in here and under our project, I'm going to go down to the properties. And I want to see if I can change this down here. It's got other frameworks. Boy, oh boy. All right, so it's got download other frameworks. And if you look in here, this is where this confused me. All right, because if you look, it's got version 8. And that's as long as it goes. All right, we've got 8. That's the one that I downloaded before. All right. But they wanted some stuff in here for 10. And or 9 and 10. And it's not available that I can see. So I was going to try to change that, but I guess it will not let me. What that means is we'll have to come up with different ways to fix this. Now, I'd said before I thought that was product list, and it doesn't like that. And if I put product in there, it doesn't like that either. This is the same problem I ran into earlier. All right. Argument null exception. All right. And the reason it doesn't like this is because we removed the null character from right there. That's why I think we're getting this error right here. And notice return null, I think, again, for the same reason. I think if we get rid of that, that error might go away, and it did. Finally, again, it doesn't like this new. But if I put the word product there, it should be okay. Okay, so that's all right. So the only one it doesn't like is this thing right here. Public product list. And it didn't matter if I put product here or product list here. Getting the same type of error. Cannot implicitly convert type product maintenance to system.collections.generic product maintenance. We have the systems collection generic, but it's not allowing us to do this. So the problem we have here is if we do this, it doesn't work because that is a feature that's not available in what we're using. Okay? And if we do this, that's not what it's looking for. And if we do this, that's not what it's looking for. So I'm a little perplexed right now, and I don't think it would be dB here. All right. So this is the constructor for this. How do I know that? Because it's not returning anything, and it has the same name here. It has no parameters, and it's saying here products equal new. I can try this, but I don't know if that'll work either. Well, it took it. That's the good news. So file, save all. All I'm trying to do is upgrade what we have to hopefully make it work. All right. So this said we had to change the code for our product maintenance form as well. So this was our FRM. So let's try to put this at the top. Again, this is our FRM product main. So I'm going to close this. I've got a lot of stuff open here, so I'm going to close all of it. And I'm going to open up FRM product main right there. All right. And I'm going to view the code. And at the top here, I want to see what this says. It says product list equal new of products equal new. And again, I don't know if that's list product or not. Does not like that. It did take that, so get rid of that. All right, in the load, it says product DB needs a get products. Does product DB have a get products? There it is. And it's expecting nothing. And that's what we're passing it. But it says, again, we're having a problem here with the typing. Okay, it doesn't cannot go from system collection generic to product list. Well, let's just keep going and see. Sometimes when you make changes in here, these errors have a way of working their way out. Don't know if that's going to happen here or not. Well, this is the code for FRM product main. Okay, I don't know what I've just put in there, but I'm going to grab this. And I'm going to remove everything I've got in here right now. In fact, I won't remove any of it. I'll comment all of it out. All right, then come down here, put in that. Again, we're still going to have problems here. Well, I've got that already in there, so I can remove this. That'll fix one of my errors. Doesn't like that. Okay, it took that. All right. Now we'll add this. That should fix this. Okay. All right. All right, this is the add right here. Again, we're having a problem here, so this probably is FRM new product. Okay. And so I am totally confused here. It's because I'm working with two different chapters of the book. All right. So there was add, and this is delete. And the exit did not change. So let me get rid of all of this. Like that. Now let me get rid of everything that's in here. Let's bring this in. And let's uncomment this. Oops, not double comment, uncomment. All right. We're still getting two errors for product P in products. All right, that's the only error that we're getting right now is for each product P in products. Hopefully we can get that fixed momentarily. And then we've got code for the new product form. All right. So let's bring up our new product form. We're going to take all the code that we have in it from here on down, and we're going to comment it out. All right, so we've got that in there. I've got to remove that. Okay. Now we've got this RB book. I'm not sure what that is, but we're going to work with it. So give me a second here. So this would be going into our save. There's our save. So I'm going to put that in. Don't worry about these errors. It's because some stuff is commented out in here. All right. Okay. What we are trying to do right here, so you're aware of this, what we are trying to do is we're trying to take the example that we were working with and modify it so that it is now able to hold or work with, however you want to say this, all right, to work with both books and software. Here's the is valid data. Okay. Which was here. Oops. All right, we're almost finished. All right, so this has become a cluster. You can see this. All right, what we were hoping to be able to do, and I'll have to go back and redo this. My guess is if I come in here and I go to the one that they have in the book, so if I go over to C:\Muroc, and I go to the 8th edition of the book, and I go to C#, and I go to student download, book apps, chapter 13, there's the product maintenance for 13. All right, so we've got product maintenance chapter 13 here in 12, so I should be able to just drag that one out. So let's copy that here. So this has got all the code in it, I believe, that we need, but I think that when we run it, we're going to get errors because, again, it's going to be using stuff from versions we don't have, but it may, I don't think it'll work. Now it says here it's using 7.0. No. And I don't think I can go to project properties here, and I don't think I can get 7. Oh, maybe we do have 7.0. See, this specifies 7.0. I'm going to change all of these to 8.0. Everything that says 7.0. All right. So I changed all of it from 7.0 to 8.0. I have no idea if it'll work now or not work now, but we'll try it anyway. All right. So what you'll see now when I add a product, notice new product. Okay, this is 13 still, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. but I should be able to come in and say, I don't know, PHP. Description, Murox, PHP 7.0, and we'll say that the price is $55.66. We'll save, and it put it in. We can also go in and delete. So that's working just fine. The problem that we're having is what we're supposed to be able to start doing in this chapter. In fact, I think I pulled in 13 and we wanted 14. So we've got 13 now working. How's that? All right, so I'm going to get rid of this 13. Just throw that away, or try to. I guess it's still running. It's one of these. All right, so this is 12. This will now become chapter 13. All right, and let's bring up the one for 14. And again, I'm going to grab the one from C:\\Muroc \, and it'll be the C#, student download, book apps, chapter 14, product maintenance. So let's copy that here. And I'm going to put in here CH14. Now let's bring this one up. All right, so let's bring this one up. I'm not going to run it because it's not going to run until I try to do this, the same kind of thing I just did. So I'm going to go over to Project, Properties. I'm going to change everything that says 7.0 to 8.0. 8.0. 8.0. And 8.0. Now we're going to try to run it and see if it runs. It may or it may not. All right, now there's nothing in there. I'm not worried about that at all. But add product. So now notice if it's a book. So let's put in here. We'll put in here HTML, CSS, Murox, HTML, CSS, and the price will be $44.55, and the author will be Joel Muroc. All right, and you can see everything's cool. All right, that's a little bit big, but that's okay. Now we're going to add another product, but we're going to make it software, and you'll notice this will change. Instead of saying author, it'll say version. All right, so this will be, I don't know, code, Linux, description, Linux, software 3.2. I'm making this up. 3355, and the version will be version 3. Whoops, 55, and the version will be 3. So what you'll notice if you look in here, they're not lined up, and I don't care about that. All right, but I'm able to bring in both software and books. So let's delete this one. Yes, and let's bring in another one. It'll be software. Let's try to make it about the same size, so we'll see if they'll line up then. Unix, GNU. And this will be newest Linux version. And the price will be $77.88, and the version will be 6. I'm just making all this up. And now you can see the stuff pretty much lines up. All right, so we've got that. That's good. So we have chapters 12, 13, and 14 of product maintenance, I believe, working. So I'm going to make a new folder here that's called product maintenance. All right. I am going to close the one that we just were looking at here. Not that. I guess it may be closed already. It is. So these 3 product maintenances, I'm going to throw them in there. All right. Now, let's put it this way. Okay? There's absolutely nothing wrong with the material that's in these PowerPoints, in my opinion, for whatever my opinion is or is not worth. It's incomplete. The book will be a lot better. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over the last 5 or 6 slides. Then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to attempt to rewrite the employee program that we've been working with. Now, so far in that employee program, it looks like this. We've got a class called employee. You already saw it. Okay? I'm going to attempt to come in here and write 4 different classes. I'm going to have an hourly employee, and I'm going to have a piece worker employee, and I'm going to have a commission worker employee, and I'm going to have, so you can see what we're doing here. Finally, I'm going to come in here and attempt to bring in a salary employee. Now, each one of these 4 types of employees, all right, each one is going to inherit from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that every employee, regardless of what type of employee they are, they will all have an employee number. They will all have a first name. They will all have a last name. They will all have a has insurance. They will all have a hire date. And they will all have a birth date. So how are these going to be different? Well, if we come down here, now an hourly employee will have an hours worked and will have an hourly rate. A piece worker employee will have a price per piece, and I don't know, how are we going to do this? Pieces per hour? I don't know. All right. I'm just thinking about how the best way to do this. Yeah, pieces per hour. That's fine. All right. And a commission employee is going to have a commission rate. And they're going to have sales, whatever their sales were. Finally, a salaried employee, maybe we'll call that salaried. Okay. They will have a salary. All right, so why am I showing you all this? Because we're going to have a method in here that's just going to be called, I don't know, some kind of a calculate pay type of method. All right, some kind of a method for calculating pay. We'll call it calculate gross pay. Okay? But the way that all these will be calculated will be different. In here, it'll be hours times rate, unless, so that's with no overtime. Let me make this smaller. All right. So let me move all these over 1. So this will be hours times rate if hours is less than or equal to 40. But it'll be 40 times rate plus hours minus 40 times rate times 1.5, and that will be if hours are greater than 40. So we're going to account for overtime now. All right? So that's how we'll do this. I'll move this down so you can see everything that's going on. Now in here, the way we'll figure out the gross pay, it'll be equal to price per piece times their pieces per hour. Okay? So that's how we're going to calculate it. So in other words, this will be gross pay. This will be gross pay. Now for here, what are we going to do? All right, so their gross pay will be what? It will be their commission rate, and we will multiply that by their sales. Finally, if you're salaried, there's nothing more to do. Your gross pay is going to be your salary. So that's what I plan on doing next. This class, the reason I'm showing you it now, this class will be called an abstract class. When a class is abstract, like what you see right here, when a class is abstract, what that means is you cannot instantiate or create it. All right? Other classes can inherit from it. And if they inherit from it, they automatically get all of this. All right? But notice we have here a method with no code inside. It's an empty method. So any class that inherits from an abstract class gets that stuff by default, but must write their own version of this. Now that might make sense and it might not. So notice with product now, all we need to add is author because it automatically got code, description, and price. Also, if you look in here, we had to write our own get display because it included the author. For the software, and I guess it's not even showing that here, the software would be similar, except with the software, it would look like this, but it would say software here, and there it would say version. And this would have to say version in here. All right? Now, the last thing that they talk about in the chapter here is a sealed class. When a class is sealed, that means that it is not possible for any other, you cannot inherit from it, okay? It's at the bottom of the chain, so to speak, okay? And they show an example in here. We will go over this stuff in class, all right? I like this chapter better than the last one, but this one, I think the chapter in the book is much more superior than just looking at these slides. All right? So this is it for the slides. I'm going to come back, and as mentioned, I'm going to try to create this when I come back. So I'll see you shortly.